Today, drama means life lessons, drama means newfound friendship, and drama means, but why are they so bad at their jobs? Hi, welcome to Drama Means. Today we're talking about the 2025 Korean drama Resident Playbook.
And first, a summary. A group of young hospital residents must learn the ins and outs of life as a doctor, all while trying not to kill their patients, each other, or annoy the hell out of their supervisors.
So I was really excited when they first announced that they're going to do Resident Playbook.
Because you loved Hospital Playlist. Hospital Playlist, it was called?
Yes. I loved Hospital Playlist. I preferred season 1 over season 2, but I really enjoyed it. I loved the character dynamic. I loved the friendships. I loved how all the doctors dealt with the things that go on around in the hospital.
And the fact that they're in a cool hospital band.
I don't know what that had to really do with it other than the fact that it was called Playlist.
Well, it was their thing. It was their excuse to get together after work, right? Like, it was kind of why they were a group. Why were they so close-knit?
Yeah. Also because Jo Jung Seok is Broadway level singer, and I think the girl is too. And
just showing off their talents.
I guess so.
I mean, sometimes you do write sometimes to actor talents. Like, if you have an actor that can ice skate, you're like, oh, we should do like a hockey episode. Like, MacGyver. Like, the guy's like, oh, he can ice skate. We should do a hockey episode. So, like, you sometimes try to play to your actors' real life strengths.
Yeah. With that said, it's so hard not to compare Resident Playbook with Hospital Playlist. Let it be with the characters and then the dynamic between the characters. It's hard not to compare. And also it's hard not to compare the actors, acting level compared to, your veteran actors in Hospital Playlist. So it was kind of hard in the beginning to get through.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit I did not last. I could not really get hooked into this. I didn't really identify with any of the characters. I didn't find any of them interesting. Like, none of the setup was really there for me. And it was very, very difficult watch. And it's not that it's bad. It's just, maybe it's because I was comparing it to of what I saw of Hospital Playlist, but this just didn't do anything for me. And I was like, I don't need to spend any time watching this.
It's difficult because in Hospital Playlist, the characters already knew each other. They had a character dynamic, they're friends, they
had this established rapport, right? Almost a shorthand with each other. They didn't have to introduce themselves to each other.
Yeah, so they can just be themselves already, and they can already be quirky, and everyone knew that they had these quirks. Whereas in Resident Playbook, you're introducing these characters. The other characters have to get used to all, the quirks and the annoyances, that these characters have. And so they're introduced to, the bad things.
Yeah, the one thing I found difficult was that I felt like all the characters were caricatures. Say that 10 times fast. And it just felt like no time in my life have I met anyone like these people. Like the reformed pop star, the girl who literally has no emotions and can't understand emotions and behaves like a robot even though she's in her 20s. Like, really? You haven't had to act like a human ever? Until now? So, and I'm not saying these things aren't real. It's just all of them felt very kind of picked out of a hat, like a game of Mad Libs where you're drawing kind of archetype characters out of a hat, and then they were all just kind of thrown in a show together. And I was like, I don't really care.
Yeah, it's just there are probably people who have those similar mannerisms and characteristics, but this is so exaggerated, I feel like. I mean, obviously, and they have to make it a point because each character is going to have their own character arc.
Absolutely. And I think when you write things so caricature-y, you tend to overwrite to that thing. I compare it to, like, my brother for years, all he got for Christmas was Simpsons things because he was the Simpsons guy. So, like, everything he got for Christmas for a decade was The Simpsons. And at some point, he was like, hey, guys, chill with The Simpsons. Like, I'm more than just a guy who watches The Simpsons. And that's what we tend to do, right? We create this character and we give them a character trait. And if we don't make them multi layered, you just write to that one thing. And then I think you end up over exaggerating that one thing. Like, the pop star gag, for me, was just lasting a little too long. Like, when is this guy going to have any ounce of self-awareness? It's like, you've tried this bit a while. No one wants your damn autograph, bro.
Yeah. But I think the hardest part is to watch these residents who has gone through school and become an intern, and then now they're residents, and yet they act like like they're completely strangers to the topic, right? It's like pulling a stranger off the subway and be like, hey, now you have to give,
Medical advice, medical treatment. Yeah.
yeah. And the thing is, they act like they've never done it before, like they've never even set foot in a hospital or seen any of it. And it's kind of weird that they're that bad.
Yeah, I think they go like a step too inept. Because for sure, like, especially as interns, when they first get, I mean, I've read a lot of medical books for medical shows I've had to work on, and for sure, interns get there and don't know anything. And even as your first year residents, they don't really know anything yet, and they really have to find it. I think this show sometimes confused interns with residents as far as how inept they were. Like, a lot of times the residents behave like interns. And okay, you want to do a story about residents or do you want to do a story about interns? Like, who are these characters? Because for sure, it's scary how bad the kids straight out of medical school are at certain things, and like the horror stories. And you read some of these books about people who just start in medicine and how little they know and how much death in hospitals goes up during like intern initiation week. But
And
yeah,
they do play on that a
for
lot.
sure, yeah.
But it's so over the top. And I know they do it for like comedy's sake, but it is like crazy scary to watch.
Yeah, and I think with some of the things, I understand why they're a little inept. Like, they've never been in a, they're going into their specialties and they've never done some more specialized thing. But it's like the basic medicine stuff, like checking in on a patient and stuff. Like, wait, how come you don't know how to do that?
Yeah. So it was in the beginning for me, it was kind of hard to watch, but it did get better as like, your characters grow and they find like their voice and their character moments. It does get better, so I continue to watch it.
I couldn't. I wimped out.
So I think one of the things, like, I do like when they start bonding. Um,
Well, that's your favorite, the team becoming a team.
yes, I'm such a sucker for stuff like that.
Well, also having each other's backs and like it's no longer a competition. Like, they all kind of get more confident in their abilities, and so then you're allowed to be a team. Like, when you're insecure, everyone's the enemy, everyone's a competitor. And then once you become more secure in who you are, then you can get friends and you can have each other's back and not worry about your own position.
Yeah, I I do like that part where Nam Gyeong has always seen Oh Young as like a rival, almost like she wants Oh Young to fail. And then it gets to a point where they're like, they never will say that they're friends and they consider each other as friends. But then they go to the point where, like, Oh Young is actually like seriously considering quitting her job again, even though she said it's like a habit of hers to always say, like, every week that she's going to quit her job. And they normally don't take her seriously at all. But there was a point when, like, she seriously considered it. And Namgyeong kind of like goes, okay, I'm gonna sneak you into my little place where I hide and I drink this non-alcoholic beer,
Yep.
to get the feels of drinking, and they just have a moment. And it's those moments that really make the show. And it's the same with hospital playlists. It's always the moments when they like connect and they like, come up and like have your back. And that is why it makes like the show good. There's a lot of aspects of the show that's like hammy and out of place, but then it's always these special little moments that you're like, okay, yeah, this is why this is watchable.
Yeah, I think a big part of that is the show don't tell rule. Like, you have characters who don't have to walk around being like, "You're my best friend. I love you," and say all these words. It's the actions we care about. So they can literally say, "God, I hate her. Ugh, I can't stand her." But then when the time comes, we see through action how they really feel. And to me, that connects so much better with an audience than people saying, "You're my best friend," in like a dialogue scene. And I think a lot of times people discount that because it's not as overt when you have to look and watch the screen and decipher action. Like everyone wants everything spelled out, which makes it a little less meaningful if you have to say I love you, do you really love them? Because they should already know. I'm not saying never say it. I'm just saying in a character sense, like it's nice to see the action come through so that we can feel like we're included in it, not just a declaration. And it's always just a declaration.
Yeah. I do. There are a lot of good moments in this. I like some of like the lessons learned along the way, and it is like you start to really like the characters, even though in the beginning, like I kind of didn't like any of the characters. But you do start liking them as they grow and learn the lessons they need to learn. And I think one of them, I really couldn't connect with Sabi because she was so robotic, but I felt like it was so put on, like in this weird coerced way, like the way she's written.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a moment where like she is one of those people who are like, oh, I joined this because I've idolized this certain doctor, and then like kind of look down on another doctor because he seems like boring and like kind of like doesn't take things seriously and things like that. And then the person that she takes away the biggest lesson is the doctor that she kind of looked down on.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like one of those moments, like, and if they did a parallel where, he's like, oh, I'm going into this really boring surgery, like removing all the like, you know, 20 or 30 polyps or whatever it was. And she's like, oh, okay. And then like another exciting surgery is going on. And so she chooses to go, check out the exciting surgery. And so later when she like realizes how much she learned from him and how good of a mentor he is, he goes and he does like a similar boring surgery, and she like, suits up and goes with him, and he like is like, oh, you didn't have to do that. And she's like, I know, but I want to. It's just those certain moments that's like, oh yeah, these are really good. Like they built it up. You didn't really expect it because it comes out and you're like not even really thinking about it, and then it happens and you're like, oh yeah, that is a really good like parallel callback situation in this drama.
Well, if you're going to set something up, like you have to pay it off. And that's what's satisfying, right? Is you set up these ideas and then you wait to knock them all down and kind of tick them off and figure out interesting ways to pay off these things you've set up. I think when shows aren't very satisfying is when you set up, set up, set up, set up, set up, and then the payoff is either uninteresting or never comes. And then you're just left hanging like, wait, so why did these people interact together? Because they were just kind of existing. We never got that moment that went, oh, that's what it's all been about.
So there is like some moments that I really liked, because Do Won, he's, the fourth year resident
Mm-hmm.
and also, like kind of their direct supervisor. Um, there are moments where like he is like probably my favorite like mentor for them. And of course he's like he is their direct supervisor, so he takes on the, you know, the responsibility. But there's at one point Jae was calling everybody every second because he was never sure of himself.
Yeah, he was always checking in. Like, never wanted to get in trouble. I'll check in so I don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he was like doing ultrasounds, and but like any kind of weird like thing he would call, and then someone either second year or fourth year or whoever would come and check and be like, nope, it's totally fine, you know. But like he never wanted like, what if he misses something, which I can really relate to because I always have that where I'm like, well, what if, right? Like the minute you don't double check, then that's when like the mistake will happen or the problem will occur. And so I totally related to that. But then Do Won, he was so good about it because he was never mean. He never yelled at any of them, but he really put that like lesson in their brains, and then it let them like it marinate in their minds, you know? And so he basically was like, you're putting the responsibility on other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like you're not confident enough in yourself and your own abilities, so you don't want to take the blame for anything, so then you let other people, you know. And it's almost like, and then it hinders them of doing their job and their responsibilities. And he really had to like, you know, stand there and like let that set in and realize like, because he thought he was doing a good job, that he was like, you know, um checking twice, you know, like checking everything twice,
being cautious.
Yeah. And so he really learned that lesson, and I really like that character. I love Do Won's character.
It reminds me of a mentor I had that at some point said, you know, you may not know every answer when you're writing a script or a story, but you do have to make your best effort to try to solve the problem on your own. Because if you come to me with every problem, you're basically telling me it's my problem. And I hired subordinates so things aren't my problem all the time. And by the time it gets to me, yeah, maybe you've made a mistake. But if you're a smart person, you've made the same kind of mistake anyone else in your position would have made, and your boss can fix it. Now, it's a little different when lives are on the line. Like, you want to be making sure that you're not making mistakes that kill people, but it's that same mentality of, well, if you're always coming to me for the answer, you're making it my problem. You exist to make things not my problem. And on down the line. And that's why the tasks, as you go down, are simpler, simpler, simpler. And as you get more experience, the tasks are more complex. And I like that lesson a lot too, because I think it's really important. A lot of people, it's always check with me, check with me. Like, well, you're never going to learn the lesson if you're always checking.
Yeah. So there are so many good moments in this. And I do have to say, the reason why I specifically wanted to watch this was because Kang You Seok is in it. He plays Jae.
Mm-hmm.
Because previously he was in Light on You, which is a BL. And their coupling was very like well received, and I really liked him in it. And so it was good to see that he was like getting more recognition and like bigger roles.
So what do we feel about the actual like romance of it? Because they do the thing in this drama that I always kind of feel weird about, which is, you know, I fell in love with my sister's husband's brother, who I happen to live with. Or, you know, I'm like, again, they're not related. We've seen a lot of these dramas where it's two people, not blood related, not incest at all. Let's be clear. But at the same time, you have a very sibling relationship with them. Whether it's, was it Reply 1994? Which Reply is it with Trash and the
1994.
So like they're kind of brotherly sisterly, not related at all, but you know. And then we have Unknown. You have the brotherly. Like, again, there's nothing wrong with it, but it starts at a place that makes me go, should they be together? I don't know.
So also by this, well, not by the same director, but the director of Reply 1994 created this show.
There you go. He likes this trope.
I guess so. I don't know if that part bothers me more than the fact that he's her direct boss bothers me more.
Well, there's another problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is hard. Well, the thing is, they never had. They were like more like enemies at the beginning of the show. Like
For sure.
they always fought, and yes, they did have like a sibling kind of feeling to it, but I don't know because she didn't start living with him until she got in so much debt.
Yeah. That's not quite as weird as like two people who've, lived together like brother and sister since they were like 5. It's not quite like that, but it gives me the same like you hear the stories of like twins who marry another set of twins, and I'm like, wait, so you married your sister's brother? I'm getting lost in who married who, but you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, oh wait, we're brother-in-laws in like 2 ways, and I'm like, why? Go find someone else.
So I always ask this question when this topic comes up is, what if you're dating your significant other, right? And that your relationship is going so well that you decided to introduce your parents, right?
Okay. You introduce your parents and the parents of your significant other.
Yes.
All right, I'm following.
And say they're single, they're single. And they meet each other and they start liking each other and they start dating.
Right. So like your mom and your boyfriend's dad decide that they're like, oh, we like each other, but our kids are dating.
Yeah.
Right. Again, not illegal.
Not illegal.
Incest, but weird.
It is weird, but also like you guys started dating first, right? But like say you're at an age where you're not like quite ready to get married, but randomly your parents decide, hey, you know what? We're gonna get married now. And like just kind of beat you guys to the punch. Then what do you do?
Well, you can't
That's not
do
your
anything.
fault.
You can't do anything. That's my point. There's nothing to do. It's just a little weird.
Yeah.
It's just like, wait, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. And I would be fucking furious.
But the same thing here. It's a little bit like, wait a minute, I'm married to him and you're dating his brother? Yeah. Wait, why? Out of all the guys you could date, you're dating my husband's brother.
Yeah, which also is like, if things don't work out.
Extra messy.
Yeah.
And that's the reason not to date at work, obviously, with your direct supervisor. If you break up, do things get massively messy now?
Yeah. And so I have a bigger issue with the fact that he is her direct boss. A lot of decisions could be made in favor of her because they are dating. That's a big thing.
Yep.
But I mean, at the end of this drama, though, he was finishing his residency and going into a fellowship, which actually he leaves that department, and he was going to move away, and I can't remember if he was going out of the country or out of the city, mm-hmm. or to a different hospital or something to do his fellowship. So that does help their situation, because once he's not her direct supervisor, I don't see any issue with it. But yeah, I don't know.
But it is also difficult. Like, we talk about this as like, oh, this is a no-no, you shouldn't be doing this. But also with workplace dramas, that's where the drama is. So you're going to write workplace romance in a workplace drama. You almost don't even have a choice.
Yeah, well, it's also considering they all live at the hospital. Like, where are they going to meet other people? Where are they going to go to, like...
Well, that's interesting, because you would think, like, you see things where it's like, oh, don't, mix work and, romance. But, like, then you get into it so deep, like, CIA operatives and, like, FBI. Like, they actually want you to have someone inside the circle, because then people inside the circle understand the etiquette. They understand the secrets. They understand the need that you can't know everything that happens with your partner, whereas people outside the circle don't. So they actually encourage people to, like, get involved with each other at work.
Oh, interesting.
And I think even with, filmmaking, a lot of crew members work with their husbands or wives, because who else is going to understand the fact that you're gone 14 hours a day? Yeah. Or you have to go to New Mexico for 3 months on a movie. The person who also does that for a living understands that. The normal, 9 to 5, come home, want you home, they don't get it.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough, If I'm writing a medical hospital drama, there's probably a couple doctors hooking up. Just gonna say it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But does the romance in this work, though? Putting all that aside.
I think it's cute.
There you go.
Because honestly, she's so over the top and like what's the word I'm looking for? We're like super, oh, this bad thing happens, I'm gonna leave it all. I'm, like
I
just,
quit.
yeah. And, and he's kind of her rock. He keeps her grounded. He is like smarter than her. So, like kind of gives her motivation. And the thing is, what's good about him is that he really struggled with the idea, because she started liking him first, and approached him first, pursued him first, and he really pulled away, and he was like, if you're going to continue this, we can't ever even be like
in the same department. We can't be in the same maybe you can be in the same hospital, but we can't be direct reports.
Yeah. He's like, basically, like, if you even want me to continue to talk to you, you need to stop this shit, kind of thing.
Right.
And so he really struggled with it. But like, he also has feelings and emotions, and he has fallen for her too, and it's just, he tries to do the right thing at every turn. And, all the decisions, he's never like favored her, which was one of like the big concerns, is like,
yeah,
it's hard not to favor your significant other, in situations where,
yeah, because you have to, there's repercussions at home,
yeah. And so, and he definitely like is as fair as he can possibly be. And he does he is a really good mentor to them, as I had mentioned before. So I really like their dynamic. I like that she's the one that fell first. I like that she pursued him first.
Yeah, I mean, I guess also when you're dealing with this kind of workplace stuff, you do have to acknowledge all the pitfalls and acknowledge the taboo part of it if you're going to do it. You can't just ho hum and pretend it doesn't exist. And I think that's the secret of making it work. I think you just have to go, we shouldn't, we can't, well, fuck, we're going to do it anyway. Like that kind of thing. And it has to all make sense and feel organic to the characters. And
yeah. And honestly, like, when everyone started finding out that they're dating, it was freaking hilarious, because they thought everything was a secret. And then like the Jae finds out first, and then he starts telling people. And then like the nurse, actually this one nurse found out first, and she was told a few other nurses, and then Jae tells them, and then like finally he says something to the other two doctors, and then they're all like, and it's just this big thing. And then all next thing you know, all of like the mentors know, like all the supervisors know, and there's just like this kind of wave.
No secrets in the hospital.
Yeah. So, I mean, other than like dealing with patients and stuff, what else can you do to, regain your sanity? But yeah. I like that. What I actually find a little awkward is the Jail Sabi romance.
Well, also Sabi's a robot, not a person, so I don't know how you do it. Like, what is this? What is this romance like?
So apparently, before she ever met Jae, she was a huge fan of their group, their idol group, and she kept it hidden really well and never mentioned it before. But she was a little drunk. They went to karaoke. He did their song, their idol group song,
and she swooned.
And she kind of just got starry eyed and like watched him, and then did the whole choreography with him. Right. So that's when you realize that she was a fan. And then, and I don't know, they put this weird like thing where he had a crush on one of the characters from Hospital Playlist. and she was the reason why he wanted to become a doctor, right? And her character was similar to Sabi's character in Playbook, but her character in Hospital Playlist was like more like mellowed out, and then they heightened that, that characteristic with Sabi, right? But then it was like, oh yeah, it made sense that your first love has the same personality as Sabi, but I felt like it was a little like forced.
Mm-hmm.
But then they brought the actual actress from Hospital Playlist to cameo in Resident Playbook, and she played it so much like Sabi that I'm like, did you forget how your actual character was in Hospital Playlist? Because
Maybe.
I mean, maybe, but also like,
well, they wanted to draw the overt parallel and make sure that no one missed it.
Yeah, but it was so bad. It was so uncomfortable to watch because you could see so blatantly that she was just copying how Sabi's character is.
Yeah.
So that was like my most hated part.
Well, there was a lot of cameos, right? I mean, most of the cast from Hospital Playlist make a cameo in this. Like, they really did tag all the bases.
Really, really did. Like, well, even the freaking director, and then this really famous variety show, PD, they made the cameos.
Oh, there you go. Well, isn't it one of the cameos they make kind of when the two are trying to sneak off and have like alone time?
Oh,
and then one of like the original characters catches them in their alone time. Is like, oh.
So it's your main two. So Ik-jun and Songhwa.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like the main, your main two leads, and they were in it. And what I kind of so they confirmed with this drama, Resident Playbook, that the two ended up together from Hospital Playlist. Even though in Hospital Playlist season 2, they left it open-ended.
Right.
And you didn't know if they ended up together or not.
See, I actually appreciate stuff like that because it gives the cameo a reason to exist other than just, oh, isn't it cool that they made a special like appearance in this other thing? Like, I would rather have them make an appearance to like further their story and again pay off things that were previously set up. Now, as far as whether you liked it being open-ended versus knowing for sure, but I do appreciate the attempt at giving us something new from the characters that if you were a huge fan, you can go, oh damn, they're together,
So it's not a matter of open-ended or not. My thing was, I did not believe that Ik-jun and Songhwa should have gotten together at all.
Mm-hmm.
And they were walking that line of like, oh, they, Ik-jun had feelings for Songhwa, but Songhwa, like, she was going to a different hospital, and it was almost like at the end of it, she had an option to date, Ik-jun or this other, he was like, I want to say he was like an 8-year resident or something like that. Like
that doesn't exist.
No,
my 8th year of residency. Stop it! You should go be an accountant, bro. Maybe doctoring isn't for you.
No, he was just like, he was in like the brain surgeon thing, and he was previously a military guy, and then because of he had some kind of illness, and so he couldn't be in the military anymore. But the fact that his illness was also affecting him being a doctor too. So, because he couldn't stand that long. And usually a lot of like brain surgeries are like 8 hours or more or whatever. Yeah. So like he barely could do that either. So, anyway, but what it was in the beginning, and this is super tangent, but like, I've met a lot of Korean friends that have said to me, and these are usually males, who've told me, I don't believe that men and women can be friends like have a platonic friendship.
Yeah, it's the Harry Met Sally. Like, men and women can't be friends.
Yeah. Because if you spend enough time together, you're bound to have romantic feelings for each other. I don't believe this. I think that is bullshit. There are just times when you're not fucking no, like, you're just not attracted to people. You don't like them for that, you know? It's like friends are friends and romantic interests are romantic interests. I'm not saying friends can't be together. I'm just saying that not all friends have to be together just because they're opposite sex, right? So I've had this said to me before from Korean friends that I've met. So then this was brought up in season 1 of Hospital Playlist. And Sungwa's ex-boyfriend or boyfriend at the time was basically saying that he didn't believe that Sungwa could have guy friends.
Right.
And that she probably has shit going on with her guy friends, right? Because she's like the only girl in her group of friends, right?
Yeah.
And so, Jung Kyung Ho's character, he was the one that like the boyfriend was like kind of suspicious of, right? And so, and there was nothing going on between Jung Kyung Ho's character and Songwa's Songwa. And so he at one point punches the boyfriend and was like, that is such an old-fashioned closed-minded way of thinking.
Right.
Right? And like, and it was just like shutting that door. Like, of course men and women can be just friends. Right? That was a thing that they brought up. And in the culture, the Korean culture, that is a forward thinking idea.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Cut to season 2 of Hospital Playlist. Of course, they're gonna be like, oh, you know what? Forget what I fucking said in season 1. Men and women can't just be friends. Here's these 2 friends and they're gonna hook up and be together.
Guess the ex-boyfriend was right all along.
Yeah, like, fuck that shit. Why'd you even bring that up then? Like, it just completely negated your whole thing from season 1. And that's why I didn't want them to be together.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I didn't really put all those things together all the way through here, but yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. They kind of undid this. They took a stand on an issue and then completely like forgot they took a stand on an issue.
Exactly. So that's so irritating. So that's why, like, when they decided, and the thing is, when they left it open ended, it almost felt like Songwa was not going to end up with Ikjun,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then, of course, in Resident Playbook, they're like, "Hey, we've decided to let you know that these 2 people are a couple now," you know, and it's like, well, fuck you, man.
Now tell me how you really feel about it.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, if they didn't bring that up in the beginning, I wouldn't have an issue with them to be together.
No, it makes all the sense in the world. I think that a lot of times I can't speak for the show and know if there was, a changing of the guard as far as, writing the show and decided to go in a different direction. But, we see in shows all the time, someone else takes over and then goes, well, I'm going to do the show my way. And they don't necessarily respect the material that came before them. They're like, no, that's the past and this is the future. And the audience is the one kind of left going, wait a minute, like the show's for us too. And you're completely like undermining things about the show that I liked.
Yeah.
So I totally get that. You have every right to feel that way.
So I do have to say that I actually I thought it was really cute. The Nam Gyeong and the Kion romance. I mean, it was barely a romance. Like, it didn't even really bud at the end. But I mean, like, it was hinted that Gyeon's actually going to confess a little bit. Yeon is the intern that comes in.
The one that doesn't do anything right.
Well, he fucks up a lot, and then like, because what happened is our 4 main, first year residents that were bumbling idiots and doing nothing right had an intern that also did nothing right.
Well, shit rolls downhill.
Yeah, and so then they were complaining about him, and it was just kind of, and they were like pretty much mentoring him. But they were also trying to recruit him into their department so that next year, when they're second years, they can give him all the grunt work.
Well, this all goes all the way back to the second year telling them, like, hey, I don't know anything either. I'm an idiot too. Like, stop asking me questions.
Oh my
like,
god.
It's just like we're all idiots of different levels. Like, my boss thinks I'm an idiot, and his boss thinks he's an idiot, and then it just goes down the line. So stop thinking that everyone up here has it figured out. No one has anything figured out.
Which I actually loved that aspect of it. Like, when that happened, it was just kind of like, she was the character that, like, they always went to, and she always seemed like she had it together, and she always came to, like, check on their work. And then at the end, she's, like, throwing her textbooks, and she's like, I'm fucking studying too. I don't know what I'm doing. Stop asking me. I really love that moment. Like, that moment will always stand out in this whole show.
Yeah. But back to the relationship, as far as like it was small but cute, basically, is what you're saying.
It was really cute because the audience knew almost right from the beginning when he found her interesting, right? And he also found everyone like a mess, right? Like the 4 first year residents were freaking insane, but he just found her endearing and cute. And so the audience knew right from the beginning, but she was so oblivious to everything. And it's funny because she always talked about, like, oh, finding a new boyfriend and going on blind dates. And she was so blind to his affections and his interest. And that's why, like, at the end, when he, like, holds on to her hand when she was trying to pull away, and she was so, like, confused and shocked by it. And it was cute. It was very cute. And I was kind of looking forward to more of them. Which I'm not sure if they're going to have a season 2, but I wouldn't be surprised if they have a second season.
Well, they did 2 of the other show.
Yeah.
So you kind of, maybe that's the motif they keep doing. And then they'll do the surgeon's playbook list, and they'll do another series.
Well, the creator also did a series called Prison Playbook.
Okay.
And so that's why the playbook comes in, because he did Prison Playbook, then he did Hospital Playlist, and then he did
President Playbook.
Yeah.
He loves these similar titles that get confusing.
Yeah. So, and it's hard to all talk about all at once because I get tongue-tied. But yeah, I really liked, so like each pairing has its like cuteness, even though,
Well, they're all different too. They're not all the same. It's not the exact same paint by the numbers, kind of a relationship. I like that they're different. They're starting out in different places. Some people are just meeting. The two leads kind of live together. Like every situation is slightly different, so that you can take those stories and actually they can coexist without it feeling like everyone's just dealing with the same thing all the time. So it's nicely layered that way.
Yeah, it is. It was kind of fun to watch all the cameos. I did think like, oh, there was almost too many cameos, but it definitely was like kind of fun to see because they all showed up at different times, and then like so I forgot what year resident she was. I think maybe she was the first year resident in Hospital Playlist in the gynecology department. And then our lead gynecologist was her boss, and they kind of like, she always tried to impress him, and he was like not impressed. And then eventually like she pursues him, and he's just like, whatever. So there was kind of a parallel. Well, her character becomes the new mentor at their hospital. So then I'm kind of like, oh, if they do a season 2, she's gonna be like in it,
right?
But like she shows up and he shows up, and then at different points, Jung Kyung-ho's character comes in and like has a small, part because one of the babies had like a heart condition and he's the heart doctor. And all these little, like, even like the more minor characters, and the guy that I said that was previous military and then was the brain surgeon, he made a cameo. So like basically everyone made a cameo. I actually was hoping to see another person that was in Hospital Playlist make a cameo in this, but he didn't. So I was like a little disappointed.
Which one was that?
He was in the heart department in Hospital Playlist. His name is Kim Kang Min.
Okay.
He was in To My Star, which is my favorite Korean BL.
Oh, so you were hoping to see him because you like the actor in many things, not just Hospital Playlist.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was hoping that he was going to make just a small cameo or whatever. Because even another character from Hospital Playlist that was like the interns, he made a cameo and he was like, mentoring Jae II. So I was like, hey, how come Kang Min's not here? But yeah, so
because they didn't need both of them.
I know. My rating for this is onboard karaoke. I wanna rate it higher, but the beginning was really like I had to really psych myself into watching more of it, and then I did enjoy it afterward, but like it took me a while.
Yeah, I can't really rate this one because I didn't make it through the whole thing. Because it was hard for me. The first few episodes were a little slow, and just some things just don't relate sometimes, and it's nothing wrong. Like I can't even say this was a bad show. I think they tried to do a lot of things right, so it's not really their fault if you think about it. I'm like, it's not for me, I guess.
Yeah.
Wasn't excited to watch it. Just felt like very bland, and I didn't really care about it.
That is it for us this week, and we will see you next time.
Thank you so much for listening.